Hey guys, it's Winston with FINDYOURFLOW TV, and welcome to today's episode about Law of Attraction. The Law of Attraction was really made famous in, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago in a movie called The Secret, also made into a book. And I personally love that movie. I love the book. It really spoke to me. I don't know how much you know about the Law of Attraction. So I'm going to give you an introduction to it today and share with you my own personal experiences with the law of attraction and some tips and tricks for you so that you can start to create the dream life that you've always wanted and how to really make your dreams come true. And so we're going to get into some specific strategies and techniques. I'm going to show you some of my own things that I've been able to do and create and have, and people I've been able to meet as a result of using the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is so important right now for you, especially for all of us. Right now, as of the time of this recording, we are quarantined. We're stuck inside. We can't go out. It's very unusual times, a lot of interesting things happening in the world, and this idea of the law of attraction is more important than ever, The Secret, right? And in the movie, if you've seen the movie or read the book, then you know that it's this idea about this secret information. That's why it's called The Secret, right? It's the secret information that has been passed down over the centuries through stories, through books, through secret societies, really. And that this idea, this one piece of information was so powerful that it had to be guarded, that it was used to basically keep a lot of people in the dark and not understanding the secret and being able to control, manipulate people because they don't understand the secret. And so if you've seen the movie and you're not 100%, oh, woo-woo, that's okay. This is not a woo-woo fest, although it will get pretty woo-woo and fuzzy and crystal hippie and all that stuff. But it's also going to get a little bit more practical. It's going to get very much more practical. I want to really share with you this because I feel is incredibly important for you to understand, and people have certain ideas about it that they've got like this much information, but that last little piece is the piece that really prevents people from fully using and understanding the law of attraction and getting the things that you want in your life. So let's just get right down to it. So I wanted to share with you something personal, and really the way that this whole Find Your Flow thing started, okay, was back in 1999. And I grew up knowing, before The Secret, the movie The Secret came out, I had had my own experiences as a young child and growing up that I got the sense intuitively of how the law of attraction works. So in case you're unfamiliar with the law of attraction, the law of attraction is this idea that you can attract into your life, into your experience, pretty much anything that you want. People, places, things, objects, experiences. You can basically, if you can think it and imagine it and believe it to be true, you can have that. That's the basic idea. Now, some people say, okay, that sounds great. That sounds awesome. I want a Ferrari. Okay, cool. Well, law of attraction says you can get a Ferrari. How do you do it? Well, the traditional maybe sense would say you got to go out and get a job, right? You got to work, you got to save. And the law of attraction on the other end of the spectrum would be like, oh, you just think about it, you meditated on it, and magically it will happen. Well, in my personal experience, I've had both. I've had where I had to work a ton for something and then got it. I've had law of attraction experiences where it's manifested almost instantly. And then I've had plenty in between. And when this whole thing kind of started for me, the Find Your Flow idea, it was really to help document that. I'm not a scientist, I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I'm an author, etc. So the numbers and the stats is not my specialty. But I wanted to have a way to share with people who are on the fence, who say, yeah, I kind of get this, I believe it, but I'm not having the results I want, or I'm not having them as consistently as I would like to have the results. So how do I attract that thing I want? How do I get that Ferrari? How do I get the dream job? How do I get the dream guy or girl or person in my life? And so that's what I want to show you exactly how I've been able to do it. And this blog, the Find Your Flow blog, originally started so that I could document my law of attraction. So I could show people in real time, okay, here's the list of things that I want to attract, the experiences, the people, the connections, the money, the objects, and show you, document, okay, let's say the date, and then over time keep blogging to show you when those things were attracted into my life. And at the beginning I was a lot better about it. I have journals and stuff that I could go through, but I'm not going to bore you with that at this time. But that was the idea, was that I want to document my own personal law of attraction experiences. And that's what the Find Your Flow idea, how it kind of started. And then it was like, well, yeah, okay, great, that's awesome that I've been able to do these things, but what about you? How do you do this? And if you're already doing it, would you be willing to share your story? And so I started reaching out to friends and experts and people that I know to be guests on the show, to be guests in the on the blog, on the podcast. And so I wanted to share with you a couple things. So this idea you may or may not be familiar with. It's called, some people call it a dream board or a vision board. And I've used these pretty much my whole life in one manner or another. But this is one I just found recently. And I don't know the year. So one thing I'm going to start doing more in the future, or starting now, is start to put dates even on my dream boards and vision boards. I use dates with my journals. And one thing that I always put, and I would encourage you to put, I didn't always put, but I started to put as I got older, was the year. Because I always figured, oh, no, year it is, it's this year. So is this year. Because it seemed like the years just went on for so long back in the day. Now the years fly by. So I started putting the date, the year, in addition to the date. And what was fascinating to me was going back, finding a checklist of things that I was law of attractioning, and had these dates on that I was working on, and some of these things I would look and see, oh my gosh, I'm still working on that thing. It's been a year, it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years, oh my gosh, I'm still working on this thing, or oh, I got that one, oh yeah, I got that one. And so to be able to go back through time for yourself, have that log of the dates that you're starting to focus on these things, and you can start to track them through time. Okay? Your experiences, the things that you're attracting and manifesting and creating, you can now start to track those through time. So the vision board or the dream board, this is one. You can see this is very cheap paper. You got this who knows where, it's just not even that cool like foam board. But this is one Elena and I did. So Elena, my lovely wife of 16 years, and one thing, how did we meet? Law of attraction, that's right. I had not a board at that time, I used to use lists a lot, and I listed out all the things that I wanted in the perfect girl for me, and I met a lot of really cool girls around that time, but as I did that, I started to get more and more refined, like, oh, I like this kind of trait, but maybe not this much, so I would change and adjust my list as I was going on, and magically met this girl, kind of liked her. The rest is history, as they say. 20 years later, we're still together. So we would create boards together, because one of the things that I feel is incredibly important for couples is that forward vision. Okay, the forward vision together, right? If you're not aligned, it's going to just be that much more difficult to have a future together, right? If one person's looking that way and the other person's looking that way, not to say it can't happen, but just something from my own personal perspective that is important for me and support for Elena, that we're aligned with our visions of the future. Where do we see that going? What do we see that looking like? Where are we? What are we doing? The who, what, when, where, why? Who are we with? We're together. And now we have our kids and our family, right? Why? Because we have all the time and the money and the health to be able to enjoy this time together, doing things that we love, where we've got houses across the world that we can go and stay in, places that we can go, right? So we're creating this reality together, this story, and maybe it's not true yet, but parts of it, weren't true then, now they are. Other parts still aren't true. Other things have changed. Some things we thought were important maybe aren't important anymore. So this board, for example, and again, I don't know what year this was, but I have a feeling, because I'm looking at all these things, and this is, Elena's health, Elena's. I'm guessing this is around 2014. Why? Because Elena was going through severe health issues at that time, and health was everything. We really realized how important health is, and I'm not going to go into details on that, but it's extremely trying times. Elena almost didn't make it, and it was basically a horrible, horrible year. However, we still had our dream board. We still had the vision of her getting healthy, waking up at a decent hour, feeling fantastic, knowing that it's going to be okay, in perfect health. I'm showing this to you and you can't even see it. Let me try to get that there. So all these pictures of, this is really hard to do. Sorry, friend. So all the pictures of the ladies, being healthy and it's going to be okay, perfect health, right? This was all stuff that we were both envisioning for her every day to bring her back into health. And I am so, so thankful to say that it worked. Thank goodness. Well, that in addition to hundreds of thousands of dollars in doctor's bills and medicine and blah, 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 therapy. It's all good. It's all good. She's healthy, and that's all that really matters. It's all that really matters, friend, to be honest, right? All the money, who cares? It's gone. I'm making it back. I'm making it back. And then some, right? Boom. My mind's on the money, right? My mind is on the cash flow quadrant. This is a Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki idea that changed my life. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you've never read it, I would strongly encourage you to do it. Super simple concepts that really made a lot of sense to me, and not always the sharpest tool, but it made sense for me. And so I learned about, I had always been self-employed pretty much my whole life. And I thought that I was, awesome with this because I was really good at creating jobs for myself. I'm an entrepreneur, but I was not so good at outsourcing those and becoming a business owner. I kept all the jobs for myself, and when I learned about the cash flow quadrant and moving from one side to the other, it became a big part of something that would go on my vision board, is to focus on becoming an investor. Now, here we are in 2020, and I just pulled this thing out because I knew I was going to do this show today. And honestly, friend, I was scrambling, like, what am I going to do the show on? I still get nervous, but I'm getting more confident with the show. I appreciate your support, definitely. It's 2020. This board we made, like I said, probably about 2014, if I had to guess. And I was teaching music, and I was DJing and playing music on the weekends, and doing real estate as an agent. Yeah, I was doing agent work with an investor, a real estate investor, and I was helping sell properties. But I wanted to become the investor. I learned that, hey, being a business owner is really cool, and I definitely have to start moving all of my stuff from being self-employed to business owner status. So that was a big mental shift I've been working on for a long, long time. And then also the investor status, right? And now, in 2020, actually right after 2014, shortly after 2014, as a result of Elaine getting healthy and us being able to have our second child, and me being an entrepreneur, getting tired of being here and not really figuring out how the heck to get out of it, I started marketing to find some more clients and stumbled upon an opportunity. Now, this opportunity was not on my board. It was not something that I had specifically planned, but, and this is the way the law of attraction works a lot of times, is it's not always exactly the way you think it's going to look. And so I was marketing online for clients, I was marketing online for marketing clients as an internet marketer, and my plan was I'm going to get more clients, and that way I can focus more on doing marketing from home, and I'm not going to be driving around town, playing gigs and teaching kids and doing the real estate hustle. I'm going to stay home, and I'm going to do more marketing online and more marketing from home. Well, I stumbled across an ad, and coincidentally, and coincidence is another big thing to start to really tune into if you want to get good at law of attraction, coincidence. I pay attention to coincidences, and that gives me clues to the next coincidence, which gives me more clues to the next thing, and that helps to get that law of attraction flowing, right? Getting into the flow of the synchronicity, aligning with the pace of the thing that you want to attract into your life. So I was looking online for clients, and I happened to see an ad that said, hey, are you an internet marketing guru? And I said, it's kind of a big word. I'm not trying to be a guru per se, but I know a decent amount about this stuff, enough to be dangerous. Let's check out this ad. So I check out the ad, and it's really fascinating. It's, hey, do you know about internet marketing? Do you have this kind of experience? Do you have real estate experience? Do you have any kind of teaching experience? So, yeah, I teach, create a curriculum. I love teaching. I love real estate, and I love online marketing. It's like these are like three of my favorite things. Throw music in there, and we got something going on. But just those three things, I reach out, and turns out it's a company owned by a company that one of my good friends works for, who's worked for these guys for a number of years, about 8 years. And I didn't remember at the time, this was in hindsight, and law of attraction works very interesting with hindsight sometimes. We'll look in retrospect, it's that 2020 vision, being able to look back and say, oh, well, that's why or how that happened, right? This just happened for me. While I was doing the show, it's like, holy smokes, I forgot about this. And who do I work for now? I work for a company that teaches people how to become real estate investors. I consult to these people. I get paid to consult to real estate investors, and I get access to some of the best real estate investors and stock investors in the whole world. How did that happen? It kind of fell in my lap, right? I was looking for something, and then I saw this job opportunity, and what started happening was I was like, man, I'm not a job kind of guy. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm self-employed. I'm going to be a business owner. I am a business owner and working on getting better at outsourcing these things. And in that moment, what hit me was, well, gosh, I could go pick up 5 clients and make, X number of dollars, and be self-employed and still be doing the entrepreneur hustle and, wearing 20 different hats and trying to balance 50 plates and juggle 20 balls all at the same time, right? And I've done that for my whole life, basically, but I was getting tired of that, right? And I have kids now, and I was like, man, I just don't have the energy. We got wiped out, honestly, financially in 2014. So I was like, I can't take another beating. I need some time to just be an employee, just have steady, basic income, and then I can build all this other stuff on top of it. So I had this moment where I was looking at this job, and it's like, man, either way, I'm kind of trading time for money. I'm selling my time. I'm selling my expertise, but it takes time to do that, right? So I can get a bunch of my own clients and ideally systematize it and automate it. But I'm still going to be juggling clients. If I lose one, that's a loss of income. I got to get another to replace it and play that whole game. Or I could take one client in the form of this job, and yeah, I'll be making less money than if I did it this other way. But I got plugged into a system of people who already have enough business to keep me working at a consistent basis, a consistent stream, so that I can just get into flow with that and let my mind work on these other things, building a book series and a podcast and a TV show for Find Your Flow. I could build all this stuff without the pressure of having to make this thing make money that I could live off of. Right? In the past, that was always what I was doing as an entrepreneur, was building something and living off the income of it at the same time. And so whenever there would be disruptions in my cash flow, fortunately, I was able to balance and, make more money in these other areas, but it wasn't always fun. It wasn't always smooth, and to be honest, it was very stressful at times. So this idea of getting a job all of a sudden started to seem pretty desirable. So I took the job, and it's been amazing. Like I said, I've been able to get into some commercial real estate investments that literally only 1% of the population are allowed to even get into, or even have access to. But because of this, and because of the magical connections that have come as a result, I've been able to meet these folks and invest right alongside the top investors in the world. It doesn't make me magical or special. It kind of does. That's why I'm sharing it with you, because you are also magical and special, friend, but maybe nobody has told you that and you don't understand how to do it. So that's the point of today's show. So this would be up on our wall. Now this one, figure out how to show you. This is my dream car. Now I've had a version of this car. Not on this one. I had it somewhere else. I have a version of that car on dream boards and dream sheets of mine since they came out in 2006. Well, I didn't know exactly which one I wanted. This is a Chrysler 300C, in case you're trying to figure that out. But I love this car. I've always loved this car. And you can stylize them and make them unique in customize them in so many different ways. So I would just cut out all the different pictures of the ones that I liked. And I couldn't figure out what combination of rims or grills or whatever that made one really jump out for me and one like, nah, it's cool, but not it. So I would just take images of the ones that got me like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. There's that perfect ratio of some magic, right? And so that allowed me to get the essence of what is it that makes it cool for me, right? By clipping these photos, putting them up on my board, meditating, just watching it, just pretending that I have it. Now, back in the day when I did this, I was driving all over town, 100 miles a day, which I know for some of you isn't a lot, but you know, it's teaching kids, and so it was a grind after a while. And I love kids. I love teaching, and it was magical. It was my passion. I did it for a lot of years, and you know, when I retire, and I'm ideally would be able to teach kids, college kids, music. I think is something I'm still definitely looking forward to in my old age. But in the meanwhile, what was the point? Oh, the car. It took me 10 years. 10 years to get this car. So when I talk about timelines and law of attraction, how long is it going to take? Is it overnight? Some of this stuff overnight. Some of this stuff a year. Some of this stuff, you know, a few years. This is something for my DJ business that I wanted. Still cool, not necessary, but it kind of priority shifted. Vacation. We had a specific one, and we did go on it. It was a cruise to Mexico. We love cruising to Mexico. Yeah, so that's that one. And then this was some other stuff that Green Machine, like juice thing, which I think we got, and then realized like making juice is not that much fun. It tastes, yeah, it's not my thing. So you can attract it, and then realize like, hey, maybe it wasn't that cool after all. So this is a different board I found, and I'm sharing these with you guys again. Some people call them a vision board because you're putting your vision out there. Other people call it a dream board because you're dreaming of it. I like both, but what I did with this one, this was back when, before I went down this path that I'm on now, when I was really still trying to build my DJ business. And I was already doing decently well with it, but I was trying to make a shift because I had gone down this path of doing what I love, right, which was playing music and performing and DJing, and then getting a little warm. I gotta get to work here in a minute. So I was going down this path with my DJ career, and it was cool. You know, I was making decent money, making a decent living, but it wasn't. But I want to get to that next level, right? I always want to improve and grow, and so I started trying to figure out, well, what does that next level look like? Because I've attracted what I said I wanted, but now there's some things that aren't quite the way I want it. There's room for improvement, right? And so it's this process of refinement. The law of attraction, in some cases, is a process of refinement. You attract the thing you want, or the thing that you thought you wanted, and then it's like, oh, that's not quite it. So, okay, well, now you see the things that you don't want, right? Now, the mistake that many people make, I'll say almost even maybe the majority, is that people in general, and maybe I should make that generalization, but a lot of people focus on the wrong thing. They focus on what they don't want. Oh, I hate that job. I hate this thing. I hate the people. I hate this. I hate that. I hate that. It's like, okay, and I used to do this, so this is how I'm so good at it now, because I know, and I practice it, and it doesn't mean I don't slip and fall back into bad patterns, but I recognize them pretty quick. And so what I want to share with you is that you got to focus on what you want, because if you're focused on what you don't want, you're going to attract more of that. If you focus on what you do want, you're going to attract more of that. Pretty simple, right? Simple to talk about it and to conceptualize it. But when this show's over and you go out into your regular everyday life, everybody's fighting for your attention. Hey, look at me. Hey, buy my thing. Hey, you need this. You're fat and ugly and stupid, and you need to buy this thing so that way, blah, 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 blah. Like, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're fighting for your attention, friend. They're fighting for your attention. Everybody, everything, every company, everybody's fighting for your attention. Why? Why is that so important? Why are advertisers and marketers willing to pay money to get your attention, even for a fraction of a second? And then they got to keep it, and then we got to keep it, and we got to do a show and dance to try to keep you entertained, and so ultimately a business can sell you something, right? Nothing wrong with that, per se. Or a politician can get your vote, or who knows, right? You can use it to do anything if you understand it, if you understand getting someone's attention. So but the real power here, what I want to share with you, is that I want you to be aware of where your attention goes. I want you, friend, to be aware of where your attention is going. Become conscious of the direction your focus is going. If it's going toward what's going on with politics and this and that, again, no judgment, that's what you're creating in your experience. If you're focusing on the peace and love and the unity of your community and people coming together and supporting each other, that's what you're creating more of in your own personal experience. You are the driver of your own experience. And people are trying to distract you and say, oh, come down this way, come down this path. isn't it neat over here? You could buy these things, you could buy those things, you could vote for this person, you could vote for that person, you could be, you're, not cool enough for this, so if you buy this, you're cooler. If you're over here and you buy this. Now, granted, I'm not, again, I know it sounds maybe like, I'm not dissing business. I'm a business. I'm going to make you an offer at the end of this show. I want to be very upfront with that. I'm going to make you a free offer, and then I'm going to, if you like it and you want more, I'm going to give you the opportunity to invest more, to learn more about this stuff. But the plan is, I want to be very transparent about that, right? I want to provide you so much value that it just makes sense. And if it's not, then that's okay too, right? So here's the point. Here's what I want to share with you, friend. Look at this. This is a copy of my first book. Before I wrote it, before I published it. It had to be like a year after. I don't know. Timelines are hard for me. But this is my book, and you'll notice I put it on a magazine cover, and so that, with all these other ones, so that way I could visualize my book hitting the bestseller list, which it eventually did in Amazon, #1 bestseller in its category. So this is how I'm starting to create my reality. I'm visualizing, right? I wanted to go travel and surf. Now I'm too much of a sissy. I don't surf anymore, but such is life. Now these are cool, right? Burning Man, which I did go to 3 years, and that was super fun. I will go again once my kids get a little bit older. I'm going to take them. This is a photo of a DJ at a big, massive EDC, electronic music festival. So I started to get more clear, because one thing I was doing was I was like, okay, well, I want to make a lot of money, right? That's definitely part of my plan, because it just helps a lot of things. And so these are more corporate event type things, is kind of the way I was seeing this. And I was doing a lot of corporate events at the time. But I wanted to start transitioning into more of the fun stuff. Now the fun stuff, a lot of it, a lot of those DJs, except for the top 1%, they're not making a ton of money. And so when I was younger and kind of in this place of like, I need to make money to keep my wife happy and to keep food on the table, that's kind of when I went down the path of the corporate stuff and the private parties and all this, because the club stuff just wasn't paying me enough to maintain the lifestyle I wanted or to grow into. And so I started getting more into the corporate stuff and started making more money. But after doing that for a number of years, it's like, well, gosh, I really miss this art stuff. I really miss like these, kind of party events, the big ones. And so I want to do those. So I started putting pictures. And my goal was to get into trance for myself and to start to help people experience trance. And that way, and that's a big part of flow, okay, is essentially being able to get into trance, flow states. So there's different levels to it, which I try to share throughout the whole TV show, throughout the podcast, through the books, is to help you understand and be able to get into different levels of flow depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to manifest stuff, how do you do it? Well, you can put it on a board. I would encourage you to put it into a G board, journal it, make affirmations, say things that will help you keep your focus on the experience of already having that thing. Okay, that's huge, is this idea of having it now, enjoying it already, even if you don't physically have it in your space. So that's kind of some of the big ideas, friends. So I wanted to just share that with you. I'm going to start wrapping up the show, but I want to give you some more resources, free stuff, because this is so powerful, it's so important that if we want to create a planet together where we live in harmony and unity and health, and we're not destroying our planet, we're not destroying ourselves or our communities, we're not being whatever, so many different directions I could go, right? And yet, the ultimate game, the ultimate most important game, if I could wrap this whole thing up and say one really important thing, law of attraction, is it's you, friend. It's you and your creative force. And the only power that outside forces may or may not have is the ability to not tell you that, to keep you in the dark from it, and then to capture your attention and direct it to what that person or that entity or that source wants. That is the secret. That is the secret. Is that by taking your creative faculties, your creative energy, and directing a narrative to say, oh, this is what the choices are. You have this choice or that choice. You do this or that. You do this or that. Well, what about this over here? Nobody's talking about that. Why? Because as soon as you see that, it's like, oh, your mind just opened up. Well, if we're, oh, you're this, I'm that. You're this, I'm that. And like we're different, and now we can't. Now we're not attracting. We're just attracting more of that, and it just gets worse and worse, and it's this whole mess. But if it's like, Well, you can think that, and I can think that, and that's okay. We can have different thoughts, agree to disagree. That's democracy. That's freedom of opinion and just being civil. If your feelings get hurt, your feelings get hurt. That sucks. Be a grown-up, or at least a big kid. Like, let's start to come together, people, right? Like, whatever age. If we get emotional about this stuff, if we get taught emotions are energy, now I'm like, emotion, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. Well, if I put the emotions into what I want, right, great, it happens. I create it. I've got, let me finish the story maybe about this particular one. The dream car. I didn't know exactly what color, but I figured black is my favorite color, and I always wanted a black car, and none of my cars have been that color. But I didn't know the other stuff. But eventually, one day, searching Craigslist, happened to find the car. It's within my price range. It's been demolished. It's been totaled, so I had to pay cash. Fortunately, as a result, man, it's all coming full circle now that I think about this. My goodness. Oh, wow. So, okay, last little story. Wrap it up quick. Let's go. All right. This was probably around 2014, okay? Like I said, horrible, horrible year for us. Elena was on in very severe pain, severe chronic pain for a full year, just wanting to die, trying to die, because it was so bad, okay? And, I'd had my vision board and stuff and trying to just keep things going, try to keep everything afloat, right? Hard times, running out of money, spending tons of money on doctors, and she's not working, and I'm trying to work, but we had a 2-year-old, our son was 2, and I'm trying to take care of her and him, and it was a nightmare, friend. It was a nightmare. It was super, super hard. So anyway, at a certain stage in the whole thing, we had a rental property, happened to have been our first house, which we rehabbed and got rented, and it was cash, it just started cash flowing, and we'd run out of money. We'd run out of savings. We'd spent everything on doctor's bills and just try to keep everything afloat. And so I had to liquidate the asset. I had to go to this property that we owned and talk to the tenants, who were amazing, sweet, sweet people, a really nice lady and her elderly mother and their 3 little pugs. And I had to basically say, look, we can't afford to keep this place anymore. We have to sell it. I'm going to have to ask you guys to move out. And that was one of the hardest things I've had to do in my life. Kick some people out of their house and liquidate, our biggest, asset together. And, as the weight of that situation really hit me, I'm standing in the kitchen and I started crying, right? And the lady who I'm, basically kicking out, she gave me a hug because she could just tell, like, I was just so done, right? I was completely out of resources and mental whatever. So after that happened, the good news, the flip side, if there was one, was that we did really well with the property, okay? And so on the one hand, it's this duality thing, which is a theme in my own personal life. On the one hand, low point in my life, horribly distraught, horrible, bad situation. On the other hand, we did this flip of this property over, the years, which what I call a slow flip, and did very well with it. The biggest paycheck I've ever personally made. And so, great, okay, like, what is it? It's good, it's bad, it is what it is. I did have enough cash in the bank at that point, though, to do something I've been waiting 10 years to do. And I wasn't getting younger, and who knows how long any of us are going to get around, live for. And so I started looking on Craigslist, happened to find a sweet ride. I don't have a picture for you right now, but I bought it. Found one. And it hit, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is it. I don't know the ratios, what rims, this, and the percentage of chrome I need to the percentage of black I need to make it, like, nice, but this car did it. And got it for $5,500 cash, traded it in my station wagon. Boom. And I have my dream car. Took me 10 years to get it, and I loved the journey getting to it. The circumstances I was able to buy it were I never could have predicted, right? That I would just do that. And, that was my first 6-figure month when we sold that property. That in conjunction with another deal and some other stuff I had going on. And so it's like, wow, this is amazing. This is a dream I've been working toward, a financial goal that I've been working on for many, many years. But the circumstances were horrible. They were the worst possible circumstances almost that I could have imagined. So it's this duality of like, it is what it is, right? It's life. Life is freaking crazy sometimes. So what do you want in life? What is your goal? Where are you? And how can you visualize that? Visualize it in a way to start making it real for you, right? Put it on a board. Put it on your phone, on the image, and start making it real. Start creating your ideal reality here on Earth. Okay, I really got to go. I'm running late. But friend, go to findyourflow.com/LOA. Sorry, I don't know my American Sign Language. It's been a while. LOA, Law of Attraction. Findyourflow.com/Law of Attraction. So LOA. And I'm going to give you some free Law of Attraction stuff to help you get set up and going with this, because I feel like this is so important, and I really want you to be able to create the life of your dreams. Now's the time. Now is the time. Make it happen. And definitely reach out if you have questions, if I can help you with this. info@findyourflow.com. info@findyourflow.com. Or it's Winston@findyourflow.com. Sorry, Winston@findyourflow.com. Either one should work, but that's how you get a hold of me. And I would love to know what you think about this. Please leave comments in the comments section. Let me know about things that you've attracted. What I really, really want to do, what I would love, if you feel drawn or called in any way, to share your stories of law of attraction or the secret and how you've been able to manifest things in your life or help others do it. I would love to hear that. Please post in the comments and or email me so that way I can share your story if you'd like to be in the podcast, in the show, here, in the book series. It's all about spreading this awareness and bringing the power of attraction and focus to you so that you can create the dream life of your dreams. There you go, friend. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Please share this with someone who you feel would appreciate it and can really benefit from this. So again, my name is Winston, the Find Your Flow guy. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. All right, now you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, friend. And until next time, my friend, be flowing.